Hey man, it's Aaron from the Underground Railroad, and you guys are tuning into another wonderful show from the Four-Eyed Radio Network. To listen to more awesome episodes from your favorite people at the Fern Network, you can tune into foureyedradio.com. Ooh.
Hi, this is Kyle from Arcade Bros. If you're like me, you like a little joy in your life. We're proud to present that we are sponsored by America Joy Print Shop. If you need cut vinyl, store lettering, business printing, forms, card magnets, and anything else printing needs, America Joy is the one for you. When you contact America Joy, just tell them the Fern sent you.
Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's that time again for the Long Box Cast, featuring the super heroic, the Man of Steel, Kyle Mooney, and his faithful companion. We kick him to the side all the time, Steve-O Mooney. And now your host, Kyle.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Kyle.
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing, Steve?
Doing pretty
Welcome
good.
back. This is episode number 2!
Episode number 2.
Of the Long Box Cast, only provided on the Four-Eyed Radio Network, The Fern. If you want more information about that network, you can go to foureyedradio.com. To listen to all the shows we will eventually have on the web, you can go to iTunes, Stitcher, Zune Marketplace, BlackBerry Podcast, Miro Guide, Mixcloud, Double Twist, Spreaker, just simply by typing in Long Box Cast and enjoy. I stole that from Steve for his Arcade Bros. This podcast has been brought to you by American Joy Print Shop, official sponsor of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Business cards, flyers, posters, banners, cut vinyl, car wraps, and more. Visit americajoy.com for more information, and just tell them that the Fern sent you. We also have Raven designs, illustrations, and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. And that's our sponsorships. So we appreciate them very much. Got a couple shout outs this week, Steve. You want me to run through them and burn them out? And pop them out and punch them
Hey
in?
man,
Boom,
this
bop,
is
boom.
your thing. Bro.
We got at Paul Chelsea 81. We have at Fafarhan _. We have at Alexander Holbro. We have at Chopra Devru.
Sounds like what I
Daruv.
had for dinner last
Oh,
night.
Chopra Devru.
Chopra
We have at Snakehead Swarm. That's pretty
I
good.
love that wine.
That one's pretty good.
I don't know.
At Klingon Critic, where basically he's a Klingon and he critics.
So what you're trying to tell me? Uktak-tu!
Exactly.
All right.
And then at Purple Bean Slots. Thank you
Yes! Coming this summer, Purple Bean Slides!
guys. Rated R.
Rated G.
So he's coming out this year. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my volumes over because we were talking about that. Because you were telling me this the other day. Steve was reading some comics.
Yeah, so
and he got some interesting developments.
So
on that.
I finally read Batman New 52, Volume 1 and 2. Now, the first one is called The Court of Owls, and the second one is called The Night of Owls. Now, when I'm reading the first one, it's a really lengthy book. It's pretty big. It's got a lot of stuff going on in it. It's basically Batman gets attacked by this. There's a group of the assassins called the Court of Owls, and they've been around for centuries. Literally, it does like a backstory, like going back to where Jonah Hex actually had to deal with some of these assassins as well back in the day, and it goes through different time periods of these assassins and then finally gets to modern day. Now, this one night in Gotham, the Court of Owls send out 40 assassins, or not even 40 assassins, but 40 assassinations temps, basically. There's 40 people in Gotham that are going to be assassinated. Bruce Wayne is actually one of them. So they bust into his manor and they're trying to kill him. Dick Grayson is actually another one, but he literally notifies Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, there's a whole
Another
bunch of
one.
like
So
random
there's
ones.
there's a lot of random ones in some particular ones. So after I got done reading the Court of Owls, which ends pretty much kind of like a cliffhanger thing. You're like, I gotta find out more. I pick up the next one, and the next one starts off with them
What you
breaking
just read.
into Batman's house. Now,
Yeah.
basically what it did, it removed pretty much everything that happened to all the other characters, such as what Batgirl ran into, Robin ran into, all that kind of stuff, and it was more focused on just Batman's story, but it was pretty much all of his stuff going on, but it didn't really touch upon like the backstory of the Court of Owls, like talking about them being in history and stuff. And then halfway through the book, it's picked up where the last book left off, and it goes into, Bruce showing up at this woman's apartment saying, I'm looking for your husband. And then you find out pretty much how it ends with the whole twist of possibly Bruce Wayne having a brother, Thomas Wayne Jr. Supposedly, you find out. I mean, truthfully, he did have a brother, but you don't know if he survived or not. That's the whole conflict.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of make that whole jump.
But yeah, it was very weird. So I was gonna probably after the podcast, I'll have Kyle check out the book to see if it was even what we were talking about, or if I missed anything with the other 2 volumes.
Yeah, because the one I have, because I know there's one out there which has like everybody, like Nightwing, Batgirls, like all of their dealings with the Court of Owls, and the 2 books I have is basically just Batman's saga, and then like there was another book that came out that kind of filled in those gaps in between those stories, because obviously he sends like everyone, you go to Gordon, you go here, you go there, and it kind of deals with all of that. But that's not one I have. I have the other ones, which is just strictly like just Batman and the Court of Owls, like that was it. So I'll definitely have to check out yours and find out what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, it was very cool and interesting. It was just very like when I opened the second book, I was like, why did I just pay for half of the book I just already read?
Yeah, exactly. What you're like,
but it's a really good read. I do like this new introduction of the Batman. Basically, I thought the Court of Owls, like a lot of people said, it was like an old kind of failed like villain that didn't really do too well or something like that, and it just kind of got pushed to wayside.
Yeah, because if you remember, there was like that anime too, the Infinite Earths, and they had Owl Man or whatever.
Yeah,
he was
Owl
like
Man.
Batman's character, but like if he went with owls instead.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I think all this came about, and it also has to deal with Night Owl from Watchmen.
Yeah,
because he was brought into the DC universe later on, and they tried to like respin him, and that's kind of what's cool is when you get these macabres of like comic characters, they can just keep pulling from different ones and retrying things. So.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, it's like the new reboot of the New 52s. These 2 new Batman graphic novels, and especially the third one when the Joker comes back. Must read. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, I love the art. I love the
yeah,
style.
and what's really kind of cool is the artwork is done by a guy who did Spawn for a bit. And what is really kind of cool, you kind of can see some of the art styling of that, where there's a part where Batman's punching a guy, but all it shows is Batman's outline, but you can see his eye and his teeth.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of that would Spawn would be in the dark without his mask.
Greg Capullo.
Yeah, Greg Capullo. You would just see a lot of Spawn's eyes in the dark, and then his
that's
teeth
what I liked
smiled,
is like as Spawn went further, he went from less character to just more like shadow. Like you got like less color, less things. Like maybe just see like an arm.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of that in the thing, and there's so really good artwork. I really enjoyed it. The Court of Owls and the Night of Owls, definitely check them out. Really good books, really good read. But yeah, that's what I read this week. What did you read this week?
I ended up reading Justice League number 4, mainly because it was a comic that was with the New 52. I read it 1 and 2 and 3, like here and there. A lot of times they were free downloads online. You can read them off of DC's website. A lot of times they have like most of the saga, and of course Wikipedia kind of filled in some of the gaps and stuff. But I ended up picking it up. I went to Ash Avenue Comics, and they had it there for $2.50, and they're just over off of like University, almost like where the old like Zia Records was.
Okay.
They're just down there. So I went and stopped in there. They had a couple bargains going on, and I just had it like in just the paperback. They didn't have like the full like the 1 through 5 like graphic novel. They had just like a couple loose ones. So I picked up a couple loose because one, I really liked the art, and it was weird because it had a lot of benevolence on Aquaman. Like it was very big on the Aquaman story, and it was very big on the his portion of the Justice League, because it's always one that people make fun of. You know, Aquaman's always like, oh, the guy talks to fish, like how good are you with like anything else? And it was really cool in this one because like one of the best panels, and actually got voted on this year too. Like they were talking about like best newcomer or like best this or best that. Like best story arc was the Court of Owls. One of the best new villains, things like that. And they said actually the best panel was this panel that they did in Justice League 4, where basically it's Aquaman with his trident, hands outstretched like this, and like just nothing but like great white sharks like shooting out from the ocean, like biting this like robotic creature that they fought, almost like kind of like Age of Apocalypse, like one of his creations, and they kind of tie into some of that, which is kind of where I think Justice League is heading. Like all the couple issues have kind of alluded to Apocalypse, but nothing really just coming out being like Apocalypse. You know, like it's kind of alluded to Darkseid as
Darkseid and the Apocalypse
and the world
planet.
and all that. So
I do have to say, with Aquaman though, they really did kind of, because a lot of people, they made fun of him because it's like, oh, he just talks to fish, yada yada. But everyone seems to forget it's like not only can he breathe underwater, he can swim really fast. He actually can control a water element.
Yeah, and they kind of tried that because they had it where they lost his arm. They gave him like a trident.
Yeah.
But then they lost his arm and gave him like a water hand. Like in later issues, trying to give like more of that water like aspect.
And but what I like is like a lot of people seem to forget he does have super strength. Like he is very strong, powerful. He does have the control. And what I like about the control with water is there's the water in your brain, so he actually can do mind control. That's what I actually really did enjoy about the new 52. The new 52, they really kind of did.
Yeah, like because then you were telling me like he goes into a story, he's like paying with like his gold. Like
he throws down just like gold doubloons. They're like, you can't pay with this. He's like, I can do what I want because technically
he's a king.
He's a king and he's not a citizen of Earth. He's
of the planet,
it's so he can pretty much, it's that kind of mentality.
And I like that too because I like how like people forget like the world is 75% water. You know, it's like he basically controls most of the majority of the planet, and like I think that's what gets lost in like translation a lot of times is that like you realize that the ocean is so vast. That
that's the thing, So I mean, he is a great character. I mean, of course, in most of the cartoon shows, he was. It wasn't until I think Justice League. The reboot of the Justice League came out. That's when they really kind of developed Aquaman to be more of a kind of like a badass, kind of like a loner. Because like before when he shows up, like the Justice League shows up to help, he's like, I don't need your help, I don't need anybody's help. I'm a king, yada yada yada. It's like he's kind of full of himself, but it gives him a better kind of arrogant than just being like, I'm Aquaman and I talk to fish.
Exactly that whole aspect. When Justice League was starting the revamp, when they did it on the television. Like they were doing when they were reaching out to other places, and they had that whole Atlantis hates the world because they're polluting his oceans and stuff. And they did that whole kingdom storyline where like he literally like in the episode or in that series, he ends up cutting off his hand to try and save his son.
Yes.
So I like that really kind of gave him some depth where like who would do such a thing like to cut his own hand off. And then it was like and then it was also kind of stupid because it's like you're Aquaman, you should have been able to break that by yourself. But I liked it too because it was like you really tried to toughen him up and make him more of like an edgier character.
Yeah.
But I like what you said about the new 52 where they've kind of gone back to more traditional, and it's true. Like people forget that your body's made of mostly water. He could literally like burn, like crush.
He could crush you, or you could pull all the water out of your body.
Like
I mean, that's what I love. It's like as much as people want to shit on Aquaman, I mean, there's plenty of other DC characters you can pretty much shit on.
Literally, with shit man.
Yeah, shit man.
Toilet paper man,
toilet paper guy. And toilet fiend, or
toilet
brush guy. But yeah, no, I do like these revamps of the new 52s and giving everybody a little bit more of it's kind of like the same. Not only is it the retelling, but it's almost like the retelling of everything from like when the characters first were created.
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of like here's the like beginning of it all, and I really like I definitely like what they did with Justice League. The Cyborg's in it like as a main contender now. Like they redesigned his costume quite a bit, very much like what you've seen in the Injustice God Among Us, like very similar to that, where he's really kind of come into it. They even did that movie. I forget what it was. Was it the Doom one, or the one of the other ones where he kind of becomes like a main player? Like Cyborg kind of comes like a main character in the Justice League movie. Yeah,
they did. Well, in Doom, he was part of the Justice League, and then also I believe the Flashpoint Paradox one.
Yeah,
he was also in that
Flashpoint
as well.
Paradox. So they're starting to really bring him in, which I think is great.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I mean, because he was a big contender for the Teen Titans, and everything like that. So, which I'm actually kind of curious. I haven't seen if they've redone a Teen Titans for the new 52.
I haven't seen anything yet. I know they're working right now, I think, on most of the main characters, but I've heard word that they're working on one for Titans because they have like the cartoon show still going on, the one that's more anime, funny stuff.
I like that. Actually, that's one thing I want to talk about too. Is I started finally watching Young Justice, but I remember watching the original Teen Titans. Absolutely loved it. Went for 3 seasons, and they had like a movie, and then it ended. And then they re-brought it back with Teen Titans Go, and it's just, I haven't seen anything of it, but I've heard just people were just like, basically it's just a mockery of Teen Titans where it's just a bunch of little gags and stupid things, and they're not really fighting anybody or like actual missions like the actual Teen Titans show was.
Okay.
So it is kind of disappointing to that
Yeah, it's more
aspect.
like little like gags and stuff. Like it's using the same voice actors and everything.
But I mean,
2011 ongoing, it looks like the new 52 Teen Titans came out sometime in 11. 'Cause I remember I saw the new redesigns of Starfire, which looks like she's wearing even less clothes now.
And that's all
than
she was.
But then what's interesting too is early on, Slade, he was actually part of the Teen Titans in some of the earlier comics, which I thought was cool. But it looks good. Yeah, the new 52. It's got looks like it's got Wonder Woman and her man's daughter, Wonder Girl. It's got Flash. It's got a really cool version of Nightwing where he's more of a red with huge wings, like a bird kind of thing. Definitely really cool. And then of course like this.
Well, actually,
Superboy,
that was the original Nightwing.
Yeah,
I remember Nightwing had that.
So they're bringing that back, I guess, in this version. And then I guess they have Raven, which she looks like all like smoke, and then looks like they do have like the Superboy character, but in this version he's flying, which I guess like in the comic he flies more than like in the animation where he was like more
so speaking of which, Young Justice, I believe it was canceled. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I just got into it, so I started watching. I'm almost done with the first season, but I really want to say like this is a really good show. Like it really gives you like a really cool spectrum of like when it first started, I literally just thought, okay, Robin's going to be the leader of the young, of this Young Justice team,
right? Like we've always assumed.
And then all of a sudden, it turns out like Robin is actually younger than everybody. Robin's about 13 years old, and you find out that there was the one character Speedy, who was actually the underneath Green Arrow. He actually was kind of fed up of being treated like a sidekick. He thought like they were basically going to be introduced into the Justice League, so they thought, and whatnot. But a crisis happened. And then Speedy basically takes off. But when you see Speedy again, Speedy actually is older. He's about 18 now, but now he's going by Red Arrow, and he has like a new design look and everything like that. And it's kind of funny because you would think out of everybody to be arrogant, I didn't think it would have been Green Arrow's sidekick. It would have been. I would have thought it would have been probably Kid Flash.
Right. Yeah. Maybe more cocky.
But I mean, as much as he's kind of like the funny person in the show, but he does have it. But he does have his moments. Yeah. He does have his moments because he is a scientist. Yeah. Like he's like the Flash, because everyone forgets that the Flash is a scientist and he recreated the same thing. But what I do like about these versions of the children, it's like, oh, can you do this like Martian Manhunter, such as the Megan character? And she's like, well, I haven't learned how to phase yet. I haven't learned how to do this yet. Like they're coming. And that was like the same thing even with Kid Flash. Like he doesn't know how to vibrate his molecules to basically go into
it's almost like
solids and stuff like that. Yeah. So I mean, it's really well done. But what I like is Aqualad, actually a character that was kind of a throwaway character when Aquaman had his own kind of cartoon show. Oh yeah. Like he was just like this kind of like annoying kind of kid, like gee willikers. But this one they really developed him into really kind of a cool character.
Prime example, like I was telling Steve just a bit ago, like I used to hate Aqualad in the comics. Like I just thought like, geez, like this is like one of the worst sidekicks ever. And then when I heard about this version, like, oh, who's this character? Because I didn't realize who it was at first. Because I had really redesigned him. That I was like, oh, that's Aqualad.
Yeah, like he has like you can actually see the gills. He actually has like the webbing in his hands and his toes and stuff. But then he also has like magic, basically, where he has water, but he can also use electricity, and he can like pretty much take water and make like these weapons.
Yeah, he uses water out of his like backpack or whatever.
Yeah, it's really kind of well done and stuff like that. But what I really like is like the character developed just not. I mean, obviously it's based on the kids, but they are actually really diving into a lot of the DC characters that were mostly. They were touched upon like in like something that's called like the Justice League, and something that would have been like this is their moment to shine, and they really just kind of pushed them away. Like Red Tornado is a character that I believe started making a kind of an appearance in the Batman Brave and the Bold. Yeah. And then Young Justice came out, and he's pretty much kind of like the kid's caretaker, just because he's like the robot or whatnot. But it's like I found out a bunch about his backstory. I had no idea anything about Red Tornado, and it's coming along with a lot of characters. And then the cool part is they find basically Superboy. And you find out like when basically Superman finds out that he has pretty much almost a son. Superman, very surprisingly, being the kind of guy that he is, where you expect him to be very warm and welcoming and stuff like that. Like exactly. He's very distant, and like and Batman,
like a hit it quit it man.
He was like, well, not even that, but Batman was like, you need to talk to him, and he's like, no, I can't. Not now. We're not going to talk about this, Bruce. Like, and it's funny.
Yeah, I thought it was cool because they met up like in a diner, like as Bruce and Clark Kent, to kind of talk about it, like as adults.
And he literally just got up and was like, I'm done with I'm not talking about this. And it's just kind of funny to see that Batman has a little bit more compassion than
exactly.
Than Superman, at this point. And you think if anything, Batman would be more suspicious of
Yeah, of Connor.
And everything like that. So, but it's really well done. I know I'm going to be done with the first season. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. They're really integrating a lot of stuff. Like I just ran into an episode where they found like basically apocalypse technology on Earth.
Yeah, the boom tubes.
So there's all this kind of stuff, happening.
Yeah, because there's an undergang that has all the tools of his. And like, where are they getting?
Yeah,
where
are they getting this from and stuff? So I mean, it's very well done. I'm actually kind of sad to hear that if it has been canceled,
especially the way it had been canceled. Because I was telling Steve like what I liked about the first season to second, like the cliffhanger, the second to third cliffhanger. I was just like, oh, they're finally getting to some good meaty stuff. And what I really liked about the series was like, you didn't need the Superman, you didn't need Batman. Like they were there, and they'd come in every once in a while to kind of help with things. But what I really liked most about it was really showing you that like these young heroes were capable. Like, I mean, they like some of the things they go up against in the second season is or the third season even, is they go up against like Mongol. The destroyer, like that even Superman and Batman like had trouble with.
Oh yeah,
like with his war world and everything. They go up against him, like, and they were just kids, and like you couldn't expect even Batman or Superman to go up against that guy, and yet these kids were able to kind of like hold their own against it. And it's really kind of going like, yeah, it's really cool like how they did this. So and then of course like what's really cool at the end is like season 3 with like a lot of the closure with a lot of things like where people have been left in charge, and so then of course you get like your superiors like your Batman, your Wonder Woman, checking up on them and like seeing the interaction between like Robin now and like Batman and things like that. And that's why I really liked like some of the best lines and some of the best like performances I thought were from the Young Justice, like especially when they're trying to knock people into the Justice League, and like Shazam. They talk about like seeing how they like think, seeing how
that was really what I really liked about Shazam is obviously he's a 10-year-old kid and he gets magic powers. If people don't know this about it, but what I really liked about there was an episode where like the Justice League thought Shazam was just Shazam. They had no idea he was a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, they just didn't. And
there's an episode where like like basically this I forget the magician kid's name, but he basically separates the adult world and the children world. So there's basically two different. Oh yeah,
Damien or something. Yeah. He's like with the guy with the other guy, the guy who turns into the demon.
Yeah, that has the M on his head. Yeah. So they have that whole thing going on, and then what happens is Shazam realizes he can go back and forth between the two worlds because in one world he's an adult, and in the other world he's a kid. So using that, he was able to communicate with both the Justice League and the Young Justice League to formulate a plan and stuff like that. And then the episode that comes up where they're like, well, I don't think Shazam should be in the Justice League anymore because he's only 10 years old.
Yeah.
And then Batman's like, yeah, but without him we wouldn't have been able to solve this crisis and stuff like that. It's like is hero. That's what I love. It's like they like a lot of them are gauging it by age.
Yeah,
and
where it's more about experience.
But that's what Batman's been saying. It's like it's more about experience.
That's the character. They're dual identity.
Because then they made a good point with Superboy because they're like, well, technically Superboy's only 1 year old.
Yeah, exactly. If you really think about it, he's only a 1-year-old. Yeah.
And it's like,
well, technically he is because of like his years of experience and everything.
Yeah, so that's what I like about like Batman's reasoning and stuff like that. And that's the thing what I love where he said, I think Robin should be in the thing. And then
that's what I love is like the names come up and it's like Robin and Batman's like he's in, like without even allowing anyone to vote. He's just like he's in and like accepts it through, and everyone's like, I think we need to vote on this. And he's like telling them like he's proven himself like more times than not. Blah, blah,
well,
blah.
no, Wonder Woman brings up a good point because she goes, oh really? We want to bring someone into the thing who is able to track down his parents' killers and bring them to justice. He's like, why? So he can be like you? And he goes, no, I did that so he wouldn't be like me. Because Batman, if you think about it, Batman never got to confront his killer. Batman never got a chance to bring his parents' killer to justice or whatnot. And which is also a good twist when they did that in the Batman Begins movie where it's like he was going to shoot his killer, but then someone else did it for him. And it's just kind of like he was basically kind of showed how powerless he was no matter what he tried to do. So, but that was the thing with Batman. It's like Batman will never, like everybody else was able to confront. That was his whole goal when he picked up a new sidekick. Like Batman wanted them to.
Well, what I like too is in the new versions, like the new version of Batman. What I like is they've kind of combined like the movies with like the redone of the New 52, because in the New 52 he did know who killed his parents, and it was the Joe Schill character. They didn't make it like it was this unknown, because like before then, like in Public Enemies, he never knew who his parents' killer was. Like all these things, like it was kind of like that whole unknown, and that unknown was the driving force. Like I never knew who this guy was, and I never will, and it's just like, I want to find him. And now what they were trying to do is do. In this new version, it is like the New 52 Joe Schill is the one who killed him. He ended up getting killed in prison. He ended up getting like shanked in prison just because it's like that's what happened, and that was it. Like that was it. The resolve was done. Like justice did prevail. He did get to jail, but unfortunately, like it is what it is, and that's where like they made the connection with Gordon because Gordon was the one to prosecute him, find him, catch him, prosecute him through the judicial system, and then it just worked itself out that in jail Joe Schill just got knifed and that was it.
Knifed anyways.
And so like that's what they did is instead of trying to make it like the unknown and the driving force for Batman, as they made it more like, oh, I trust Gordon. Like it made like that was like the connection. Like at least he brought my parents, the killer, to justice when he was still a kid. Like that's where like it all comes about. So like they're going back and forth with it because I kind of liked it. Yeah, I never liked the idea of like the greatest detective can't find his own murderer, his parents' murder. Like you'd be able to solve it. And they try to touch base on it in a couple of different universes where it was like a super villain or like the Joker in the old Batman movie. And like I mean, it works. Like it's a good story motivator and stuff. But at the same token, it kind of kills it.
Yeah.
Because like obviously the Joker died in the Batman movie with Keaton. So then it's like, well, there you go. Your parents were brought to justice. You got their killer. Like don't have to be Batman anymore. It's like what's the driving force for that? Like what do you do after that? Like, oh, you're just Batman. Like, so that's why I like the new one where it's really like him pushing like the Batman Incorporated. Like around the world, there always needs to be this force. There needs to be people out there who are fighting for justice and not.
Which actually, with the Quarter Owl books, they do touch upon that. Where like it's focused on I think Batwing.
Yeah, Batwing.
That character, and I think he's in London. At the time, and there's something going on, and then all of a sudden it's like the Court of Owls hits, and then it's just like Batman Incorporated. It's like not only were they just hitting Gotham,
they were hitting all over,
to have that situation at that point with a Batman almost in every part of the country, it kind of works out. So it's kind of a cool thing. But yeah, I mean,
and I love that too because like I said, like now you can get like an Asian Batman, a Mexican Batman. You can get like it's not race is no longer a factor.
Yeah,
the Bruce Wayne is no longer a factor. Like there's them everywhere. Like you don't have to worry about like hey, let's try something. Let's do girl Batman in London. Like cool, do it, done. Like we can do it now and do a whole story about that. So I thought that was like one of the best moves they've done for a while. And then it explains it too because like we were talking about like no one would ever put two to two together. Oh, it's got wing tech all over it. Like how come no one's figured that out yet? And instead he just comes out and says, yeah, I support these guys. Like you're never gonna touch them. I make billions of dollars off of this stuff, and like I believe in what they're doing. And so that way you just. And then what I love is like. Morrison was talking about it on Grant Morrison was talking about it on Kevin Smith's podcast where it was like in the chat room. So someone's like, oh, I think Bruce Wayne might be Batman just based on these like conspiracy theories. He goes, but guess who put that in there? He did. Like Batman's the one going into the chat rooms like making up all the theories. Yeah. Just to the point where it makes it so unrealistic that you don't even believe it. Like that's what I thought was cool. Is like they're really like delving into like a psyche of him.
I did really like all that kind of stuff. That's like that Batman Zero you were talking about.
Yeah,
so
that's
I definitely
want to find out where it's like the beginnings, but it shows like interesting stuff like new technology he was trying out, more about him wearing disguises and stuff like he used to do, Master Detective, so stuff like that, which I thought was fun. But well, I definitely recommend the new Justice League. Any of the new 52 stuff is great. Marvel definitely has a lot of cool stuff coming out as well, especially with the new Amazing Spider-Man coming out. They just had another teaser trailer that I guess Stan Lee released that we posted a couple days ago, and it just looks phenomenal. So it's gonna be definitely something pretty sweet. Now, I know last time we did a character spotlight, I did the one for Plastic Man. It looks like this time you found a guy from an old Howard the Duck, which I think, too, would be an awesome like reboot as well. I know he's been benevolent, especially in surprisingly, the Marvel Zombies. Howard the Duck was like very predominant in the storyline with him and the Punisher and stuff. But this is a character I guess you found out based on that kind of universe.
Yeah, I found out in the basically I decided to do something instead of picking like I want to try to also touch upon. Don't worry, we'll get to certain characters like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Wolverine and things like that. But after you picked kind of like Plastic Man, he's kind of a well-known character, but not really. Like there's a bunch of stuff when we did that episode that I didn't know about. But I was trying to find really oddball villains and oddball superheroes, either ones that didn't make it or ones that, failed and then they made a huge comeback or some of that. So this is a character that I found out a lot about him when I did this, and I thought it was actually very fascinating with all the stuff. So this is, of course, the character spotlight of the week.
Go for it.
The character that I'm talking about this week is actually a villain. His name is actually Dr. Bong.
Dr. Bong.
His alias is Lester Verdin or Verdin.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, Verde maybe.
Verde.
Lester Verde.
Lester Verde. Okay, now
That makes sense. Green Verde.
So Dr. Bong's first appearance was in, actually, like we were talking about, a Marvel character called Howard the Duck, number 15, August 1977. He was created by Steve Gerber and Maureen Severin. The character's personality was loosely based on a journalist, Bob Greene. The powers of scientific, he's a scientific genius with a bell-shaped helmet that can be struck to create a number of effects. I really didn't see too much of his weaknesses or anything like that, but I will pull up his Wikipedia page. Now, when you see this character, because what I want to start doing is when we post an episode, we'll talk about the character spotlight of the week, and we'll probably post a picture of the character.
Yeah, a couple of the characters
and some of the stuff he's did. But Dr. Bong, basically, it's a guy, and basically he has a bell. For a helmet.
It's
like a helmet.
He looks pretty ripped and stuff too.
Yeah, he's pretty ripped and stuff, but it's really kind of funny. He was a huge villain, I guess, during what's it called? Howard the Duck series and stuff like that. And then there was a part where like he actually married one of the women in the Howard the Duck. Her name was, I think, Beverly. He had a crush on her, and they soon actually married, and then all of a sudden he wasn't a villain anymore, and then a bunch of different stuff. But a really cool part is, I didn't know this, is Dr. Bong actually created an imperfect clone of Steve Rogers, Moon Knight, and Black Widow, and lure the Deadpool team to teaming up with them. And so he actually became also a villain of Deadpool.
Yeah, because I'm reading here too. Yeah, during the fight, Deadpool slips away and cons Dr. Bong to think that he is one of the genetic clones that I guess he made.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool makes Dr. Bong another explode. So he's like, that's interesting. Secret Avengers, I guess, is the team up.
So I
cool.
found that very kind of funny with that, because it's like as soon as you think of Dr. Bong and you see him and then you go, oh, he's from the Howard the Duck.
But then here it is.
It kind of fits in with that series, because Howard the Duck is just so out there. And this character is just so kind of weird looking and everything that. And then when I was reading up, going like, oh, he fights Deadpool. He's actually fought Deadpool a couple of times.
Yeah, like it's actually more to it than just a like a B character. But that's what I love, is like these characters can be interchangeable. Like you might even see that when you're, they'll do the Thanos, they'll do the Avengers saga. Maybe somebody dies. It will be this whole thing, and then it'll be like the next villain, Dr. Bong.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. I wouldn't be surprised to actually see like a weird character like this. In the next couple of movies or whatnot. But apparently he was in a video game. Dr. Bong was set to appear in the second season of Marvel Avengers Alliance.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of cool that he's being developed. Now I'd like to see the Lego version of Dr. Bong. But yeah, we'll definitely, when the episode goes up on Thursday, we'll go ahead and...
so he's obviously just more human, so his weaknesses is just he's not like...
Yeah, he does have some super strength. He does have some... But he's very intelligent. He's almost like Steve Richards smart here. So he does have... And he's also very good with genetic engineering and stuff like that, such as with all the clones and stuff. So that's my character spotlight of the week. I wanted to pick something that was a little bit different out there. Maybe not too many people... I mean, I've never even heard of him. I was just very surprised of this character.
Neat.
So, we'll talk more, but I just thought it was very kind of unique with Deadpool, but it really wanted to pull me into this next story that I read about. So finally, after I don't know how many years Marvel Comics has been out there, this has never been thought up. And now that it's been in writing and it's been posted, and it's a comic series that will be coming out this year, Carnage versus Deadpool.
Oh wow, yeah, I think I just saw that post about that.
And I'm like, how genius is that? I mean, that's like it's
the best of both worlds.
It's something that's like
a psychotic killer versus a guy who's just psychotic and
just
like
psychotic, yeah. And they both it's like a guy who can't die pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
And Carnage has never been able to be killed, so it's like,
exactly.
This is going to be I'm kind of pumped
interesting
for this.
Twist. Well, I like when they do that, because I remember when they did the Venom crossover, and like Venom and Wolverine, and then even Wolverine had the suit for a little bit where it was like a Venom but with like the adamantium.
Yeah, the Wolverine, yeah.
Then they did the one where like him and like then there was like a spawn of his, and then they made it and like turned into an even bigger version of it. It was like an imperfect symbiote and then the Venom, and then like they melded kind of thing. And then like that was based on I love how they can always take one of those and like tweak it a bit. And
that was actually a comic series that I wish it got canceled halfway through its storyline, but it was just called Venom.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of cool. You find out that it was like a clone of the symbiote, and it was made to look like Venom, and then the real Venom like kind of shows up, and you kind of see just how like the real Venom just kind of is like so much superior to this just clone
genetic
version of it
makeup.
and stuff. And a really good line is because the clone is almost about to kill Spider-Man, and you see Venom come busting through the wall and like totally beats the crap out of the thing and literally just grabs it and be like, no, he's my kill. Like you're just like, oh, like all that kind of stuff. But they did have that where like it did attack like Wolverine, this symbiote, and all this other kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I think Scotty Young did a version of that too. That was like the one that I liked a lot. Scotty Young, who's done like the Oz and a couple other versions, he does a very cool version of Venom. He even does he did that Cat series. I don't know if you remember where he did like the Marvel Cats. He drew a lot of those versions of those Marvel Cat characters.
Oh, okay.
So he also does a lot of the baby ones too, like the Marvel babies. That's also his like kind of claim to fame too.
Okay, because I thought that was that girl Katie Can Draw.
She's done some too, Katie could draw, but he did a version too. Like here's one that he did of Venom.
Oh, okay. Oh,
then,
no,
this is like more like Scotty Young, the Marvel baby.
I haven't seen those ones, but now I've seen, because she does her own version of the cat ones that I've seen too. Like I've seen the Spider-Man cat, and then it's like the Sandman cat.
Yeah, the XYZ, the Scotty Young series that he did, XYZ was a really good series because it had Spider-Man in it. It had them, but his style was just very, he's got this a very neat style to his form, and it was cool because in the original, Spider-Man goes to the Fantastic Four. And they help him discuss like what it is and where it came from and things like that. And then in like this version, they do the same with the clone, and then they're like, we don't know, like it looks like it's like was invented.
See, that's the biggest problem I'm having actually now with like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four being owned by two different companies, movies wise. Because we
always miss that Human Torch.
I would love not only the Human Torch thing, but I would love that interaction where he shows up and it's Reed Richards and he's like, here, we got to test this, and because I mean that was a big thing in the cartoon show, the Spider-Man 1990s cartoon show. It's like the Fantastic Four would show up. It's like they would have all these kind of things, and he would partner up with these people because there was a certain, thing to it. So, but what do we got for weeklies?
Yeah, this week's weekly is brought to you by comiclist.com. We have a buttload of stuff coming out, brand new year, obviously. This is actually going to be 2 weeks worth because they went ahead and doubled up for the week of the holiday as well as the next week following. So we have 47 North publisher, Bounty Hunter Code from the Files of Boba Fett.
Ooh.
It's a box set that's coming out. We have Abstract Studios, got Rachel Rising, number 22. Adventurous Corp, we have Roll Hard GN. Archie Comics, and this is cool if you haven't known about it, Archie did a version of when Jughead comes back as a zombie.
Oh, no.
They did a whole saga of that. Like, it ends up, I forget what it is, like, if it's all a dream or something, but, like, it looked really sick.
Oh,
like,
wow.
imagine, like, that, but with, like, horror. Like,
horror kind of.
It looked really cool. So if you can find that one's a pretty good one. Afterlife with Archie, number 2, I think that's the one. Betty and Veronica Double Digest. Betty and Veronica Friends Double Digest. Sonic Universe, number 59. And then, of course, they have some variants. And then The World of Archie Double Digest, number 35. So that's just like...
Okay, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is with the Archie comics.
There's definitely a fan base.
No. I know there's a fan base, but the most fan base is the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Women, like, ate that shit up.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's crazy, too, did you ever see... There's, like, a new cartoon out, and it reminds me... I think it's, like,
it's
an
called
Archie...
American School USA.
School USA, yeah.
And, yeah, the artwork looks exactly like Archie.
It's even got, like, characters that are, like, the Archie characters. Like,
and I don't know if it's by the same people. It's just in, like, an adult version of it or what, but it's very... Like, I think it's called Team USA, I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that. I'll find it out. But, yeah, I've seen that come out... And I'm just like, what the hell?
Well, speaking of which, I got more people.
High School USA.
Yeah, High School USA. I got a lot of people into Axe Cop now.
Yeah, that too. Like those are on there.
We watched about 3 episodes last night after the podcast, and that was just this is amazing.
This is the greatest thing ever. Yeah. You got Aspen Comics, all new Soul Fired number 2. Executive Assistant Assassins number 17. We have Attaboy Yum Factory has High Fructose Magazine Quarterly, number 30.
Nice.
We have Big Dog Inc., which is Shazazard, number 1.
Shazazard!
Boom Studios again, Adventure Time Annual, number 1. Garfield, number 21.
I can't wait for that Adventure Time.
Hawken Mealy, number 3. Imagine Agents, number 2. Revelations, number 1. And we have Broadsword Comics has Turret Witch of the Black Rose, number 83. Looks like it's in a deluxe edition. And Canton Street Press has Canteen Kate by Matt Baker. We have Cinebook, which has Antares Volume 4, Crusade Volume 3, Lady S Volume 2, Largo Winch Volume 10 and 11, Lucky Luke Volume 41, Shiboan Volume 1, Lament of the Lost Moors, Thorgal Volume 14. Comic Shop News, I guess, has another book, Comic Shop News number 1385. Dark Horse has a lot of comics coming out both this week and next with Bad Blood number 1, Baltimore Chapel of Bones number 1, Captain Midnight number 1, so a lot of new books or publications. Catalyst Comics number 7, Conan the Barbarian number 1, Grindhouse Doors Open at Midnight number 4, Juice Squeezer number 1, Michael Avon Oming's The Victories number 8, Occultist number 4, Pariah Volume 1, Powers figure set full case with signed Chase. I guess that's a figure set. There's a couple toys too coming out recently, and games they talk about. Star Wars number 0 of 8, which is interesting. It's by Lucas. It's one of his he's done. Star Wars Omnibus Dark Times Volume 1, which is interesting because someone just talked about it this week where Dark Horse is losing the Star Wars publication.
Because of Disney, right?
Yeah, so they're not sure what they're going to do now. Terminator Salvation,
If
the final
I was
battle.
Disney, I would literally just
hire them on.
Yeah, just hire them on.
That's
and just
what I
keep
would have
it
done.
going.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously they sell like crazy those versions. True Lies of Fabulous Killjoys number 6, and Terminator Salvation, the final battle number 2. DC's got a whole bunch of stuff. We got Adventures of Superman number 8, All Star Western number 26, Aquaman number 26.
Okay.
Batman Arkham Unhinged, the second volume.
Ooh.
Which the first one looks pretty cool. Like, that one's in a graphic novel form already. Batman Judge Dredd collection.
Ooh, I like that.
The Batman Dark Knight number 26. We have Beware the Batman number 3. Catwoman number 26.
I've only read up, I think, maybe like 12 issues of the Catwoman series.
Yeah, it looks good. Damien, Son of Batman number 3.
I thought he died.
He did die last year, and that's kind of what's been nice is like 7 months he hasn't appeared in anything, and this is, I think, his tales between then and there. And like people aren't sure, like, is he gonna stay dead? Are they gonna bring him back? Because like a lot of people didn't like Damien at first, but then as they like portrayed him, people became more and more in like with him, and then when they killed him off, everyone was like he's actually a character we wouldn't mind seeing come back. So they're not sure how they're gonna play that, if they're ever gonna play that, or if he's gonna be one that's like, because again, like, it gives Batman momentum.
He is in the Court of Owls.
Yeah, he's also in the Death of a Family, with the Joker.
Yeah, he's
stuff.
in that thing.
He's in a couple of those as well. We have Dead Boy Detectives number 1, Fables number 136, Flash number 26, Forever Evil Argus number 3, Green Team Teen Trillionaires
Try
number
to say
7.
that 4 times.
Yeah, Green Teen
Trillionaires. Trillionaires.
We got Hellblazer Volume 7, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe number 9. So it looks like that came to DC.
Yes.
Injustice Gods Among Us number 12, Justice League Dark numbers 26.
Final issue actually on that one.
Oh, okay, that's the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Justice League Dark, which is funny because I have Justice League
26.
Dark Volume 1. I just haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay. We have Larfleeze number 6, Mad Magazine still going strong.
has Mad Magazine?
Oh, yeah. Number 525. Red Lantern number 26. Superboy Volume 3 is out. Superman number 26. Superman the Man of Steel Volume 8 is out. And then, of course, Superman Unchained number 5, which is like their new one that they've been doing. Been going pretty strong. It looks pretty good. I've only read, I think, 1 through 3. Talon number 14. Teen Titans number 26. Tom Strong and the Planet of Perils number 6 of 6.
And it looks like they're going to have 2 versions of that. There's going to be a black-white.
Black-white cover and then a regular. We also have How to Draw SC, Design Studio Press. We also have Devil's Due Entertainment, which is Mercy Sparks number 3. Diamond Publications, which is Game Trade Magazine number 167, previews number 304. Dynamite Entertainment has quite a bit. Deja Thoris and the Green Men of Mars, number 7 of 12. We have Jennifer Blood, number 34. Legendary, a Steampunk Adventure, number 1 of 7. So it looks like that's a new one. Little Ernie, number 1. Miss Fury, number 1. Shadow Green Hornet, Dark Knights, number 4. Shadow Year 1, number 6. Twilight Zone, number 1. Vampirella Southern Gothic, number 3 and 4 is coming out. So probably this week and next week. Warlords of Mars, Deja Thoris, number 30 and 31. So probably the same thing. Eagle Moss Publication has actually a DC Batman Automobilia figurine collection magazine coming out. They also have a DC chess figurine collection magazine also coming out as well. Fantagraphic Books, they have a celebrated summer. Ginkgo Press has CG Galaxy Top Chinese CG Artists and Their Works Volume 2. So probably a whole bunch of like different artists. Heavy Metal Magazine has Heavy Metal number 266. Humanoids Publishing has District 14, Season 2, Fifth Essence, Volume 2, Planet Diffool. IDW again back with more publications of Dead World Restoration, Doctor Who, Prison of Time, the complete series is probably a volume. Doctor Who Series 3, Volume 4, Dead Man's Hand, G.I. Joe number 12, Judge Dredd Classics number 7, Judge Dredd Volume 3, My Little Pony's Digest, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Volume 3, Samurai Jack number 1 of 5.
Ooh.
So that'd be cool to see.
And also, it looks like that was like Sinister Dexter.
Yeah, Sinister Dexter number 2, Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Star Trek Next Generation, Doctor Who Assimilation 2 of
wow.
8. Big one. Star Trek Volume 1.
We know what to get Eric for his birthday.
Yeah, there you go. Thunder Agents number 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Animated Volume 3 is out.
Huh.
We have also Walter Simonsson's The Mighty Thor Artist Edition. Zombies vs. Robots, The Means War. That looks good. I'll check that out. Image Comics has a couple coming out. We have Artifacts number 33, Black Science number 1, Clone number 13, Jupiter's Legacy number 1, Manhattan Projects number 17, Rocket Girl number 3, Sin Boldly, Todd the Ugliest Kid on Earth number 8. Kenzer and Company has Knights of the Dinner Table 204. Knockabout Comics has Best of Wonder Warthog. Marvel has quite a bit coming out. And I think what we'll probably start doing, too, is if these are going, like, because I know with a lot of publications doubling up or them being, like, a ridiculous amount of comics, we might end up just saying, look online for our rest of our podcasts.
Yeah, we might get to that, because what we also might want to put in,
long,
there's a lot of them in there.
We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Well, this is our second episode, so there's room for tweaking. So.
And for much more, we just did that now, and for much more, we'll have Marvel and so forth on.
Well, I will say this. Marvel does have a couple of good ones. They have the Age of Ultron coming out. They also have Avengers AI Volume 1, Avengers West Coast, Avengers Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, and Guardians of the Galaxy number 10. Marvel Previews 125, New Avengers, and so on and so forth. I mean, so I know they're getting into the Age of Ultron right now.
Oh, right, because they're trying to build that up.
Because the movie's going to be coming out next year. One thing I did want to touch upon, did you see the picture of Guardians of the Galaxies that was finally released?
Yeah, that finally was announced this week. And
what did you think?
I think it looks good. Like, I really like the character design. I think like it looks almost like they're in a mugshot.
Yes.
Like they're all standing there like, about it. And I think it looks awesome.
That's fine. Do you want me to?
I
I could go through the rest, or I could just. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see where I'm at. So we also have the comic company called Moonstone. We have Honey West and the Cat, number 2, Long Ranger Chronicles, NBM, Fairy Tales of Oscar Wilde, Volume 3, The Birthday of the Infant. You have Northwest Press with QU33RGN. You also have Panin Publishing, Doctor Who, The Chains of Olympus, and Doctor Who, Hunter of the Burning Stone. Don't forget to check out PS Art Books, which has the AC collection of the Workouts of the Night, Volume 3. Yeah. And then we got also Harvey Horace, The Collector World Workbooks, Black Cat Mystery, Volume 3. Roy Thomas's President, Befrieds Frankenstein. We also have the Rebellion 200 AD pack, November 2013 and December 2013. Red 5 Comics has the Atomic Robot and the Savage Sword of the Dinosaurs.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds amazing. We also have Rooted Chronicles. We have Simon the Nazarite GN.
It looks like Samson the Nazarite.
Nazarite?
Like Nazi rights.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like Nazi rights.
Yeah, so then it looks like we have Scream with ease instead, like Scream number 27. It finishes up 7 Stories Press. We got Crimson Empire Circumstances to Serve a Noble Volume 3. Graphic Canon Volumes 1 and 3. Third World Studios, Pack TP. Sorry, guys, I had to go get my glass changed out on my car.
No, you shouldn't have told them that. I was going to tell everybody car ran out for a minute, and it was like,
oh, that's good.
Just
had to stop immediately. I mean, Superman just stopped immediately. And everyone go back to
Go back to your Costco.
We have Titan Publishing, Death Sentence number 4, Walking Dead, the official magazine number 1, Tomorrow's Publishing, Minifigure Customization Volume 2, Valiant Entertainment, Shadow Man Volume 3, Man of War Volume 4, and then of course Xenoscope Entertainment has Art of Xenoscope Volume 1, Grim Fairy Tales number 92, Grim Fairy Tales presents Oz number 5, and then Grim Fairy Tales presents Quest number 2 of 5. So yeah, quite a bit picking up.
Yeah, so next week we'll probably reformat this.
Yeah, because there's a lot
of stuff that comes out.
Now again, this is like two.
This is 2 weeks, but what we can do, we could always put in a link to the websites you can go to see what's coming out that month. So we could do like a Marvel, DC link, all these kind of things, and then we'll also tell you once we start hitting up comic book shops or hearing back from comic book shops, we can hopefully then get a list from them to see when they're doing
what they
release.
got going on. I know this week I will go ahead and give a shout out to Ash Avenue Comics, which is where I picked up my Justice League number 4.
Is it review time?
Well, basically because of bargain bin. So I mentioned that's what I got for. I think I got it for like $1.50 there because it's an older publication. I got it at Ash Avenue Comics. They're at 806 South Ash Avenue in Tempe, Arizona, 85281. Definitely check them out. Their store is very clean, very precise. Everyone real friendly, very knowledgeable. Like stuff that I was like, "Hey, what you got in bargain?" And I was asked like, "Do you mean like by publication, manga, like everything?"
Oh, okay.
They knew
very nice.
They knew quite a bit of stuff. Toys, even they had bargain toys, all kinds of figurines. And yeah, definitely it was a really cool location. Obviously, it's downtown Tempe, so it's got that kind of the Tempe vibe. Really nice location, really nice crew down there. So definitely give them a shout out. I'll probably be going down. Maybe we'll go down together sometime this week and check them out because they had some pretty good stuff there and give them a review. They've gotten about 4 stars through like Google and things like that. But like they were pretty knowledgeable down there, and their website I believe is avcomics.com.
Well, our rating system will be back in the day with we'll either give them a 5 cents rating or a 1 cent rating.
Quasars. You have 7 quasars about you.
Just because there used to be like 5 cents comics.
That's true. We can do that as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can give them a shout out. Check them out. That's where I got my comic for this week.
Woo!
Yeah, and actually what we'll do is we'll jump into our Sidekicks Corner and start wrapping up this podcast where we basically are going to talk about great comics for kids this week. These were given to me by pastemagazine.com. They had a whole article about some good character kids ones. And the one that came out this week or is coming out is the Adventure Time series is coming out in comic book form. So we have yet another all ages series, sure to be as much fun for you inner big kid as for your actual little big kid. Join Jake the dog and Finn the human in their awesome adventures in the land of Ooh. Whether you're a fan of the popular show from Cartoon Network or a newcomer, there are fist bumps and battle burns aplenty. Especially fun is Jake the dog's putty-like body, which can stretch or mold into various forms, including a muscle suit for Vin when it's go time. Also, Boom Studios recently followed up with success of Adventure Time with a well-received adaptation of Regular Show, another Cartoon Network crowd pleaser.
Yes!
So there's a comic as well. There you go. So if you're into comics and you're into Cartoon Network, those are 2.
Not setting up the chairs this time. Not setting up the chairs this time. Oh, do you not watch Regular Show?
I've seen it, yes. Oh. It's wonderful. Like, literally, it's always on when it is. Like, we stop what we're doing and watch it because it's so entertaining. It's a really good show. Like, definitely, it's one that I think is so underrated, it's so underplayed. I think my favorite episode so far was the one where, like, his friend Robin, I think, was going away. The bird, the friend of hers.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what her name was, but they throw her to the party, or they're trying to throw her a party, so they go to that one like abandoned school.
Dancing,
it's like the break, but it's like the same dance.
Yeah.
Over and over again. They're like, you're not even doing anything new, and then like it was all to impress some girl or something like that, but they all died.
Never showed up. Yeah.
Or something. It was just like, oh my god, like it's so good. Definitely another good.
The voice show. Of Skips is Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it sounded like him when you squint your eyes and pull back your Darth Vader mask. Sounds just like him.
So what do you want to wrap up with this week?
Well, we could give our Twitter handles, all this stuff. Did you have any picks this week that you'd recommend to people?
If you haven't jived into the new 52s, I would highly recommend. I would definitely recommend the Batmans. I know the Superman Action Comics. Superman was a really good read. And probably, surprisingly, the Catwoman was really well done as well. I would say those are my recommend picks for this week, and hopefully I will get to read more sometime soon.
Yay.
What about you?
I definitely recommend the New 52 Justice League. Definitely if you like the kind of Marvel cast of the DC Universe. You're basically getting the best of everyone. You're going to start seeing like how they work together, especially with the new, telling of the story. So you've obviously been familiar with the new Superman, new Batman, Wonder Woman's getting her retelling, all this stuff. So definitely be looked to see. And actually, one I'm looking forward to that's going to come out eventually is Grant Morrison is writing one. Now, I thought the one that I read last week, the Blood, Wonder Woman Blood, was the one that he had worked on. What it is, actually, it's actually by the guys like Capullo, Snyder, and Mazzarello, and all those guys have worked on that. But he's working on one called, I think it was just called The New 52 or something like that. But it's actually been relabeled to The Trial of Diana Prince. And it's basically where it's going to talk about like the new telling of her story. And that's the one we were talking about where different outfits, different things like that. So that's going to be more of that telling. Already there's some black and white pages. I think he said he's on page 190 of like writing.
Okay.
And the guy's drawn like 100 of drawing, and like some of the black and whites so far look really
good,
like really
Very
crisp.
cool.
And it looks like there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens like in some of the first early pages. You're just reading like, my goodness, like it's pretty nuts. So definitely I'm looking forward to that when that eventually comes out. As always, you can find us on Twitter at LongBoxCast and visit our website for the podcast and weeklies at longboxcast.com. We're part of the Fern Network. Steve and I also host the Arcade Bros, also on the 4-Eyed Radio Network, so give us a listen there. And as always, we appreciate you guys checking us out this week. And don't forget to Excelsior yourself.
Join us next week when Kyle battles an octopus, Steve eats a ham sandwich, and maybe, just maybe, they talk about comics for once. This has been the Long Box Cast.
This has been another fine production of the 4-Eyed Radio Network. For more shows and glamour shots of Steve and I, visit 4eyedradio.com.